The key trembled between her fingers. It wasn't the late-night wind that made Claire's hand shake, nor the cold that seeped under her coat collar. It was the knowledge, raw and metallic on her tongue, that she was turning the key to the house where her husband slept, trusting and unsuspecting, while the scent of another man's cologne still clung to her wrists. The porch light flickered above her, buzzing faintly like a trapped insect. It had never done that before. Tom always kept things fixed, maintained, aligned. Not because he was controlling, but because he noticed things, every click, every hum, every inch of their home. Tonight, that flicker felt like an omen. She exhaled sharply, trying to steady her breath. "Get it together, Claire." The door latch clicked softly, a sound far too loud for her liking, and the house exhaled darkness. No hallway light. No gentle glow from the living room lamp Tom always left on when she worked late. Nothing. Just a quiet that pressed against her ears. Claire stepped inside, pausing on the threshold. The air felt wrong, as if the house had been holding its breath. Her throat tightened. Part of her wanted to believe the unease came from guilt alone, the kind that slithers under the skin and whispers that every sound is a clue, every shadow a witness. But this felt different, heavier, like someone had brushed past her just as she entered, invisible but unmistakably real. She closed the door with care, locking it the way Tom did every night. Familiar motions, unfamiliar tremors. "Tom," she whispered. Silence. Her breaths echoed in the stillness, and the guilt pooled in her stomach, thick and sour. She could still picture him, Ethan, pressing his forehead to hers, telling her she deserved happiness, deserved to feel alive again. But in this hallway, surrounded by framed photographs of vacations and anniversaries, Ethan felt like a mirage she had chased too far. She slid off her shoes, heart pounding as the wooden floor creaked beneath her feet. The creak was wrong too, sharper, like someone else had walked here earlier, someone heavier. Claire froze. Her eyes swept the hallway, the coat rack, the umbrella stand, the mirror. Everything in its place, yet everything felt shifted by one impossible millimeter. Enough to feel, not enough to see. She took a slow step forward. Then another. A faint smell drifted through the air, the scent of Tom's aftershave, but stronger than usual, as if he had been standing here minutes ago. Claire swallowed. Maybe he was awake. Maybe he knew. Maybe. "Tom," she called again, voice cracking. Still nothing. She moved toward the living room doorway, gripping the edge of the wall as if it could anchor her. Her pulse roared in her ears. She imagined him sitting in the dark, waiting. Imagined the look in his eyes, the questions, the silence between them widening into an ocean. But the living room was empty. Almost. A blanket was folded differently than she remembered. The remote lay on the coffee table instead of its usual place on the arm of the couch. A cup sat in the sink, though she had washed everything that morning. And on the edge of that cup, her stomach dropped. A fingerprint. Smudged broad, not hers. Not Tom's. Not possible. Claire backed away slowly, hitting the wall with a soft thud. Her breath came shallow now, not because of the affair, not because of the guilt, but because the house felt occupied, recently occupied. She moved down the hallway toward the bedroom, each step deliberate, terrified. Halfway there she stopped. The bedroom door was open. Tom always closed it before bed. Always. "Tom," she whispered again, this time more plea than question. As she stepped inside, moonlight spilled across the bed sheets. They were untouched, perfectly smooth. He wasn't here. Her heart hammered against her ribs. Where was he? Had he found out? Was he avoiding her? Or worse, was someone else here tonight? A cold shiver ran down her spine. Claire sat on the edge of the bed, burying her face in her hands. Her eyes stung, her breath shallow, her guilt an iron weight. This is your fault. All of it. But then she noticed something else, a slip of paper on Tom's pillow. A note. Her name scrawled across the front in Tom's handwriting. Her blood chilled. Hands trembling, she reached for it. Before she could unfold it, a floorboard creaked behind her. In the hallway, fresh, heavy, certain, Claire's lungs seized. Someone else was in the house. She turned slowly and saw nothing, just the hallway stretching into darkness. But she had heard it, she wasn't imagining it. Her heartbeat thundered as she moved toward the doorway, gripping the frame for support, listening. Another creak, this time closer, directly around the corner. Tom, she choked out, not knowing whether she wanted it to be him or not. Silence, except for a soft exhale. Human, low, intentional. Claire staggered back, panic flaring as the shadows deepened. Her fingers tightened around the note she still hadn't opened. "Who's there?" she whispered. No reply. But the house answered anyway with a slow thump from the kitchen. A pause, then another. Footsteps. Measured. Deliberate. Someone was walking toward her. Claire's mind split in two, the part that wanted to run and the part rooted in place by fear and guilt and dread. She backed into the bedroom, reached for her phone. Not on the nightstand. Not anywhere. She had left it in the car. Of all nights. The footsteps drew closer, stopping just before the bedroom doorway. Claire pressed her back against the wall, breath frozen. Then, a figure stepped into the moonlight. Claire's knees buckled. "Tom," she exhaled. He stood in the doorway, shoulders tense, face unreadable in the dim light. But his eyes looked through her, not at her. Like he already knew. Like he had known for hours. And behind that knowledge, something else. Something colder. Tom switched on the bedside lamp. The light carved deep shadows across his face. He didn't speak, didn't blink. Claire forced herself to breathe. "Tom, she began. He held up a hand. "Don't," he said quietly, calmly, too calmly. Her mouth went dry. He stepped further into the room, gaze flicking to the note still clenched in her fist. "So," he murmured, "you found it." "Found what?" Claire looked down at the envelope, her name written on the front, his handwriting uneven, rushed. What is this?" she whispered. Tom didn't answer. He just watched her. Studied her. Like he was memorizing the moment. Claire's pulse skittered. "Tom, please talk to me." He gave a slow, almost imperceptible smile, one she had never seen on him before, too restrained, too knowing, too sharp. "I've been talking for months, Claire," he said quietly. "You just never listened." Her throat constricted. "Tom, He stepped closer, his expression unreadable. "You got home late," he said, not a question, a statement weighted with accusation. She swallowed hard. "I told you I had." "A long day," he finished for her. "Right." Her breath caught. He reached past her, picking up the corner of the note between two fingers. "You should read it," he murmured, "before we continue." "Before we continue." The phrasing twisted in her gut. Claire hesitated, fingers shaking as she unfolded the paper. One line, written in Tom's unmistakable hand. "I know." The room spun. Tom watched her reaction, silent, unblinking, patient. Claire pressed the note to her chest, voice cracking. "Tom, it's not what you." But he stepped even closer, his face inches from hers. His eyes gleamed with something unreadable. "Tell me," he whispered, "where were you tonight?" Her breath hitched. She opened her mouth. No sound came out. His expression hardened just for a second. Then softened again, disturbingly calm. "Let's take a walk," he said gently. "We need to talk somewhere quieter." Claire's stomach turned to ice. "Why?" she whispered. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Because there are things," Tom said softly, "that you don't know about this house." She froze. "What do you mean?" Tom tilted his head slightly, as if listening for something. "You felt it when you came in, didn't you? Something off, something wrong." He paused, voice sinking to a whisper. "Claire, I'm not the only one who's been keeping secrets." Her blood ran cold. A pulse of fear throbbed behind her ribs. "What are you talking about?" she managed. He just held out his hand. "Come with me." She stared at him, at the note in her hand, at the empty hallway behind him. Something in the air shifted, subtle but unmistakable, like the house was listening. Watching. Waiting. Claire reached out and placed her hand in his. His grip tightened around her fingers, too firm to be comforting. Without another word, Tom led her into the hallway. The house creaked again, this time above them, as if someone was walking on the second floor. Claire stopped breathing. Tom didn't flinch. He didn't even look up. Instead, he whispered, "See, I told you." Her heart slammed against her ribs. "Tom," she whispered, "who's upstairs?" Tom turned his head slowly, his voice low and unsettlingly calm. "Claire," he said, "that's what we're going to talk about." Tom's hand was cold. Not icy, just cold enough to make Claire's own warmth feel wrong against it, like she was gripping something that had been left outside too long. His fingers interlaced with hers as he led her down the hallway, each step echoing in the dim silence of the house. The air felt dense, as though the walls were absorbing every sound, every breath, every thought. She tried to speak once. Her lips parted. Her voice failed. Her heartbeat felt too loud, so loud she thought Tom must hear it. As they reached the living room, he finally released her hand. Claire pulled her fingers back quickly, rubbing them against her palm as if trying to remove something invisible. Tom walked toward the window and drew the curtains closed with slow, deliberate motions. The soft rasp of fabric sliding across the rod felt unnervingly loud. Then he turned to her. "Sit," he said gently, motioning toward the couch. Claire didn't move. "Tom, please, just tell me what's going on." He studied her for a moment, head slightly tilted, as if debating how much she deserved to know. Then he nodded toward the couch again, this time with a quiet firmness that made it clear he wouldn't repeat himself. Claire sat. Tom remained standing, hands in his pockets, shoulders heavy with something he hadn't yet named. "You felt it," he said after a moment, "didn't you?" Claire lowered her gaze. "Felt what?" "The presence." Her chest tightened. "Tom, you're scaring me." "I'm being honest with you," he said softly, "for the first time in months." She looked up sharply. "What is that supposed to mean?" He let out a slow breath, looking at her with an expression she couldn't immediately interpret, part exhaustion, part clarity, part something darker. "Claire," he said, "I know you've been lying to me." Her whole body went rigid. The words hit like a punch, expected, dreaded, inevitable. Still, hearing them out loud made her ears ring. Tom, please, let me explain." "No," he said, cutting her off. "No more excuses, no more stories. I've had enough of those." Claire opened her mouth again, but the look in his eyes stopped her cold. Not rage, not betrayal. Something steadier. Something colder. Something like resignation. He continued in that same unsettlingly calm voice. "I've known for 3 weeks." Her breath hitched. 3 weeks. Her mind reeled back. 3 weeks meant he knew before tonight, before that last meeting with Ethan, before the text she thought she had hidden before. "How?" she whispered. Tom ignored the question. Do you know what was harder than realizing my wife was cheating on me? He asked quietly. Claire felt tears sting her eyes. Tom stepped closer, his shadow stretching across the floor, reaching her feet like an omen. It wasn't the betrayal, he said. It wasn't imagining you with him. It wasn't even the lying. A pause. His jaw tightened. It was realizing that while you were somewhere else, I was discovering things in this house that made your affair feel almost irrelevant. Her stomach twisted. What things? She whispered. He didn't answer. Instead, he sat down across from her, leaning forward, elbows on his knees, hands clasped. Claire, he said, do you think you're the only one who's been keeping secrets? The room suddenly felt smaller, the air thicker. Tom, what are you talking about? Another noise echoed upstairs, so faint she almost thought she imagined it. A soft scuff, a shift of weight, the sound of someone standing in place. Claire flinched. Tom didn't. He simply sighed. I've been hearing footsteps at night for weeks, he said. Doors opening, things moved in the kitchen. The guest room window unlocked when I know I locked it. Her skin prickled. He leaned back, gaze locked on hers. At first I blamed myself, stress, fatigue. I thought I was imagining things, then I found signs. What signs? She whispered, her throat tightening. In the attic, Tom said, under the loose floorboard. He paused, watching her face carefully. I found things someone had been hiding. Old clothes, empty water bottles, food wrappers, a phone charger, and something else. Claire felt her heartbeat jump painfully. What else? She asked. A notebook. Her blood ran cold. What notebook? Tom didn't blink. The one with your handwriting all over it. Claire's world narrowed to pinpoint. What? She croaked. Tom stood slowly and walked to the bookshelf. He pulled out a thin black notebook and dropped it onto the coffee table. It landed with a dull thud. Her notebook. Her breath caught in her throat. She hadn't seen it in months. She thought she'd lost it during a cleaning spree last spring. How did? Her voice cracked. I found it, Tom said, where you left it. I didn't put anything in the attic, Tom, I swear. And yet, he said, there it was. She shook her head, panic rising like a tide. Tom, someone must have taken it, someone. He raised an eyebrow. Someone who broke into our house, stole only one item, wrote nothing new in it, and then hid it upstairs. Her mouth opened, closed, she couldn't form words. Tom crossed his arms. It didn't make any sense at first, until I realized something. His voice softened. You've been different, Claire, withdrawn, distracted, lost. She looked away, guilt burning through her. I thought it was about me, Tom said, about us. A pause. But then the noises started, the missing things, the rearranged objects, and the notebook. Claire felt her stomach drop. He leaned closer. And I started to wonder, what if you weren't the only one lying? Her eyes snapped back to his. Tom, she whispered, shaking, if someone been in our house. Oh, someone has been in our house, he said, for a while, I think. Her blood turned to ice. And you didn't call the police. His expression stalled for a moment. I didn't know what to tell them, he admitted, not without confirming a few things first. What things? Tom's gaze hardened. Whether it was really a stranger at all. Claire stared at him in shock. You think Tom, that's insane. He didn't speak. Tom, she pleaded, look at me. Do you really think I would hide things in our attic? He finally looked at her, really looked. And the answer in his eyes wasn't simple. No, he said at last, not you. Relief washed over her, briefly, only briefly, before he added. But someone connected to you. Her breath vanished. Someone who knows you well, someone with access, someone who knows how to get into houses unnoticed. Claire's mind raced. Then it hit her. "Ethan," she whispered in horror. Tom didn't blink. "He fits the profile, doesn't he?" She felt sick. Tom, Ethan would never. "How well do you really know him?" Tom asked quietly. "Do you know where he goes at night, what he does, who else he's been involved with, what he's capable of?" Claire's voice shook. "He's not dangerous." "People are only as dangerous as the secrets they keep," Tom replied. Another noise upstairs. This time sharper. Like something dropped. Claire's entire body tensed. Tom rose to his feet. "It's time," he said calmly. "For what?" she whispered. "To see what's really going on." He extended a hand toward her again. Claire didn't take it. "Tom," she said, voice trembling, "you're scaring me." "I'm scared too," he said softly, "but we have to go up there." Her breath shook. "No, no, Tom, please, let's call someone, let's leave the house." But he stepped closer, lowering his voice. "Claire, listen to me." A pause. "I need you to trust me tonight, just tonight." Her eyes filled with tears. "You think I deserve trust," she whispered. Tom's face softened unexpectedly. "This isn't about your affair." Her breath hitched. "This is about something else," he said. "Something bigger, something that started long before him." Claire stared at him, confused and terrified. "What started long before him?" Tom swallowed hard. "That notebook of yours," he said. "The one I found in the attic." Claire nodded weakly. "It had entries you wrote years ago," Tom said quietly. "Dates, names, thoughts, things you'd forgotten." She frowned. "Okay, but Tom, I don't understand." "There were also entries," he continued, "written recently." Her heart stopped. "What?" she whispered. "But not in your handwriting." The room tilted. "What do you mean, not in my handwriting?" Tom reached down, opening the notebook to the last pages. Curved, meticulous handwriting filled the lines. Her name appeared several times, along with sentences that made Claire's blood run cold. "I watch her when he sleeps. She whispers lies in the dark. She doesn't know I know everything. I live above them, they don't hear me, they never hear me. She is mine, not his." Claire stumbled back, hand over her mouth. "No," she whispered. "No, no, no, Tom, this is a sick joke, a prank." "Claire," he said, "the handwriting matches no one we know." Her breath came in gasps. "And the entries are all recent," Tom added. "Hours old, some written this evening." Claire felt the world slipping from under her. Tom held her by the shoulders, steadying her. "Claire," he whispered, "there is someone upstairs." A faint creak echoed above them again. Slow, heavy. Claire trembled violently. Tom squeezed her hand. "It's time to confront this," he said. But Claire shook her head, tears streaking her cheeks. "Tom, please," she whispered, "I can't go up there." He looked at her, eyes softer now. "You don't have to," he said. Her breath quivered. "What?" Tom's voice dropped to a whisper. "He's coming down." The staircase groaned. A slow footstep. Then another. Someone was descending. Claire's pulse exploded. Tom turned toward the stairs, shoulders stiffening. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Claire clutched his arm, heart thundering. Another step. Another. The shadow on the wall stretched downward as the figure approached the bottom of the staircase. The shape long, distorted, unmistakably human. Claire dug her nails into Tom's sleeve. Tom inhaled deeply, preparing himself. And the figure reached the last step. Both Claire and Tom froze. The figure stepped into view. Claire's eyes widened. Her breath vanished. Her knees buckled. Because the man standing at the foot of the stairs was someone she knew. Someone she once trusted. Someone she had hoped never to see again. Her voice cracked in a whisper of horror. God, no, not you. The man smiled. Hello, Claire. He stood at the foot of the stairs like he belonged there. Same confident posture. Same unsettling calmness. Same faint, knowing smirk that used to charm rooms, disarm colleagues, and terrify Claire in ways she never fully admitted to anyone. Not even to Tom. Ryan, she breathed. Her voice cracked on his name. Tom turned sharply toward her. You know him. Claire couldn't speak. Her chest tightened painfully, memories she had locked away years ago clawing back to the surface. Ryan stepped forward, each footstep deliberate and quiet, as though he'd walked these floors 1,000 times. Miss me, Claire? He asked softly. Her pulse hammered so violently that the edges of her vision blurred. Tom positioned himself protectively in front of her, arm half extended as though he expected Ryan to lunge at them. Ryan lifted both hands in a mock gesture of surrender. Relax, he said. If I wanted to hurt either of you, I've had plenty of opportunities. Tom's jaw clenched. Don't come any closer. Ryan paused, then tilted his head with amused obedience. As you wish, though I must say this is a rather dramatic welcome. I expected yelling, maybe a lamp thrown in my direction, something for the memories. Claire squeezed her eyes shut. Her breath shook. He wasn't supposed to be here. Not in her town. Not in her life. Not in her house. Tom didn't look away from Ryan. You need to explain who the hell you are and what you're doing in my home. Ryan smiled slightly. Your home, interesting phrasing. Claire's nails dug into her palms. Stop, she whispered. Stop talking like that. Ryan's gaze flicked to her. And there she is, he murmured. The real Claire. I wondered how long you'd play the trembling rabbit. Tom looked from Claire to Ryan, confusion etched across his face. Claire, he whispered without turning his back on Ryan. Who is he? She swallowed hard. Her throat felt like sandpaper. He's... Another breath. He's someone I used to work with. Ryan laughed, low and warm, but with something razor-sharp beneath. Oh, Claire, used to work with. Is that what you reduced us to? He shrugged, almost playful. That's cold. Tom's eyes narrowed. Claire, look at me. She didn't want to, but she forced herself to. What is he talking about? Tom asked, voice low but firm. Claire's lips trembled. Ryan was my supervisor, she said quietly, years ago. And Tom pressed. Ryan stepped toward the edge of the rug, stopping when Tom tensed. And her mentor, Ryan added, her partner on late-night assignments, the one who taught her everything. He glanced at Claire. And I do mean everything. Claire flinched as though he had struck her. Don't, she whispered. Tom's face darkened. You were involved with him. No, Claire cried. Not like that, Tom, I swear not like that. Ryan chuckled under his breath. Not physically, no. Tom's head snapped toward him. What's that supposed to mean? Ryan's smile faded. For the first time, something cold and sharp entered his voice. It means Claire, and I shared things far more intimate than bodies. Silence fell like a guillotine. Claire felt her throat close. Tom, she whispered, please don't listen to him. He twists things, he always has. Ryan's expression remained calm. Do I? You know you do, she shot back, voice brittle with fear. You manipulate, you lie, you always have. Ryan stepped closer slowly. Tom moved with him, blocking his path. Careful, Tom warned. Ryan stopped, but his eyes didn't leave Claire. You told Tom about us, he asked. About how close we were, about what we worked on, about what you discovered back then. Claire's heart dropped. Stop. Did you tell him, Ryan continued softly, why you had panic attacks for months after quitting, why you changed your number, why you moved 2 towns away? Claire felt her knees weaken. Tom looked back at her, stunned. You said it was burnout, he whispered. You told me that old job broke you. It did, she whispered, but not because of the job. Ryan stepped down off the stairs, voice lower now. Tell him, Claire, he said. Tell him why you left. Tell him what you saw. Her breath came out shaky. I'm not doing this, she said. Not with you. Ryan smiled faintly. Then I will. You won't say a word, Tom snapped. Ryan raised an eyebrow. You think you can stop me? Tom positioned himself like a barrier, protective, rigid. Claire felt a sob rise in her chest. This was spiraling into something she had never wanted to revisit, something she thought she had buried under years of routine and stability. Tom, she whispered, voice breaking, please listen to me, he's dangerous. Dangerous, Ryan repeated with a light laugh. Claire, please, if I wanted to harm you, I had years to do it. His tone was almost offended. I'm not here to hurt anyone. Tom scoffed, you're trespassing in my home. Ryan shrugged, fair but a technicality. A technicality, Tom snapped. You've been living in our attic. Ryan's lips curved into a small smile. I prefer the term staying. Claire staggered forward, horror erupting through her. You've been watching us, she whispered, watching me. Ryan nodded, as if indulging a child's observation. Of course I have. Claire's vision blurred with panic. And writing in my notebook. Ryan looked genuinely pleased. I wondered when you'd find that. Lovely little piece of work, very personal, very intimate. I enjoyed adding to it. Tom lunged, just a step, but enough to make Ryan flinch back with a brief warning motion. Relax, Ryan said, raising his hands again. Let's not escalate. Tom seethed. Get out of this house now. Ryan sighed. I can't. Why? Claire whispered. Ryan's expression sharpened with an emotion that chilled her blood. Because, he said softly, there are things you still don't know. Claire shook her head frantically. I don't want to know anything from you. Tom shot her a quick glance. Claire, what did he mean? What did you see? I don't, she started. Yes, you do, Ryan cut in. You remember everything, you just buried it. A pause. You always were good at burying things. Claire's breath shuddered. Stop, she whispered. Don't do this. Ryan took a step back, leaning casually on the staircase banister. Years ago, he began, we worked on a case. A disturbing one, a house, a couple, an intruder. Tom's eyes widened. Claire pressed a hand to her chest, nausea rising. Ryan, she begged, stop. But he continued anyway. The intruder didn't break in. They lived inside the house unnoticed for months, watching, listening, studying them. Claire shook her head, tears falling. Please. Ryan's eyes locked with hers. And do you remember, he asked softly, what you said when we closed that case? She shook, unable to speak. Ryan answered for her. You said it scares me how easy it was, how possible it is. What if it happens to someone else? What if it happens to me? Claire crumpled, sob erupting. Tom caught her, holding her tight. Ryan watched, head tilted, as though observing an animal exhibiting a peculiar behavior. And now, he said calmly, it has happened to you. Tom held Claire protectively. Why are you doing this to her? Ryan's expression changed. Softened. Darkened. She's the only unfinished thing in my life, he said. The only loose thread. Claire's breath froze. No, she whispered. No, you're lying, you're lying. Ryan looked almost tender. Claire, you were the only person who ever understood me. Tom pulled her behind him, fury building. You don't understand a damn thing about her. Ryan's jaw tightened. I understand her better than you ever will. Get out, Tom said again, voice dropping, or I'll. You'll what? Ryan asked flatly. Call the police and tell them what? that your wife's former supervisor, whom she never told you about, found a way into your attic and lived there while watching you for weeks. His eyes flicked to Claire. That would raise questions you don't want answered. Tom stepped forward. Try me. Ryan's gaze hardened, then softened again. I didn't come here to fight, he said. I came here to reveal the truth. Claire shook her head desperately. I don't want your truth. You need it, Ryan corrected. Tom clenched his fists. What truth? Ryan looked at Claire gently, almost lovingly. She didn't tell you, he said, about the night she left our job, about the real reason she quit. Claire's breathing turned shallow. Tom turned to her, his voice barely above a whisper. Claire, what happened? Her lips trembled. Ryan answered. Claire found something, he said. Something disturbing, something dangerous. Stop, Claire gasped. Something she wasn't supposed to see. Please stop. Something that threatened her life. Ryan, please. And someone, Ryan finished softly, who threatened to keep her quiet. Silence. Tom stared at Claire, shocked and pale. Her whole body shook violently. But Ryan wasn't done. It wasn't burnout, he said. It wasn't stress. It wasn't the workload. It was survival. Claire collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Tom knelt beside her, holding her close. Ryan watched with unreadable eyes. And now, he said softly, that past is no longer past. Claire choked out a whisper. Why are you here? Ryan blinked slowly. To finish what I started. The room froze. Tom's muscles tensed. Claire's breath vanished. Ryan took a single step forward. Claire, he said in a voice almost tender, I didn't come back for your husband. I came back for you. Tom tightened his hold on Claire as Ryan stepped forward. The air in the room shifted, heavy, electric, like a storm preparing to tear the house open plank by plank. Claire forced herself to stand. Her legs trembled, but she faced Ryan anyway. You're not finishing anything, she said, voice shaking but finally present. Those days are over. Ryan tilted his head, studying her with unsettling fondness. They're not, he said softly, because you and I, we never really ended. You left, you ran, you disappeared, but the story wasn't over. You knew it. The fear stayed with you. The nightmares, the insomnia, the way you kept the lights on when Tom worked late. Tom stiffened at that. Ryan noticed, lips curling faintly. Oh yes, he added. I heard everything, every argument, every whisper of doubt. His eyes returned to Claire. You lived your life waiting for me to come back. Claire swallowed hard. No, I lived trying to forget you. Ryan stepped closer. Tom moved immediately, blocking him again. Ryan's face hardened. You know, Tom, you should step aside. No, Tom snapped. You're not touching her. Ryan exhaled, disappointed. Then you're in the way. Claire suddenly stepped out from behind Tom. Both men froze. Her voice was steady, eerily steady. Ryan, stop. Just tell me what you want. Ryan's eyes softened instantly, painfully. You, Claire, I want what I always wanted, for us to work together, for you to finish what you started that night. Claire's stomach twisted. I never started anything. I tried to expose you. Tom turned sharply to her, stunned. Ryan smiled. There it is, he said quietly. The truth you never told him. Tom stared at Claire, disbelief slowly melting into dread. Claire, what is he talking about? Claire inhaled shakily. Tom, Ryan was involved in something illegal, dangerous. Our team was investigating internal corruption. I found evidence, too much, more than I could unsee. She swallowed. Ryan threatened me, told me that if I said a word, he'd make sure my life fell apart. So I left. I never went back. Tom's jaw clenched. And now you come back to finish that? He asked Ryan. Ryan's expression sharpened. No, She came back to live a lie, to pretend she wasn't the most brilliant mind I ever worked with, the only one who saw everything clearly. Claire's hands curled into fists. I saw what you are, she said. Manipulative, obsessive, dangerous, and I walked away. Ryan stared at her for a long, tense moment. Something inside him cracked. Not loud, not dramatic, but visible. You were supposed to choose me, he whispered. I truly thought you would. I never wanted you, Claire said softly. I was afraid of you. Ryan blinked once slowly. Then his voice dropped into something colder. If you won't come with me, then the truth comes out. Tom stepped forward. Go ahead, tell whatever story you think you have. We'll tell ours. The police will believe. The police? Ryan laughed softly. Tom, please, your wife didn't tell them before. Why would she risk it now? She knows exactly how far my reach went. Maybe it's weaker now, maybe not. Claire felt the old fear consuming her chest. But then, a new thought rose, cutting through it. He wanted her scared. He needed her scared. That was how he controlled her. She lifted her chin. You have no reach anymore, she said. You're just a man hiding in an attic because you've lost everything else. Ryan's pupils tightened. You think you're safe now, he murmured. You think your husband can protect you. Tom stepped closer to him. I can try. Ryan looked at Tom with cold, sharp pity. You don't matter in this story. And then Claire spoke the sentence that changed everything. Ryan, your story ends tonight. His breath caught. Not in anger. In heartbreak. He hadn't expected finality. He hadn't expected to lose. He took one step toward her. Tom raised his voice sharply. Don't. Ryan ignored him. He stopped directly in front of Claire, eyes deep, dark, lost. Say you meant it, he whispered. Look at me and say you don't need me. Claire met his gaze without blinking. I don't need you. Ryan's jaw tightened. Again. I don't need you. His breath came out uneven. The cracks inside him showed again, deeper this time, raw. And you never loved me, he asked. Never, Claire whispered. Something inside him finally snapped, silently, completely. He stepped back. Then another step. And another. Tom watched him carefully, ready for anything. But Ryan didn't attack. He walked to the bottom of the stairs, paused, and said quietly, I didn't come here to hurt you, Claire. I came here because I had nothing left except you. Claire closed her eyes. I know, she whispered, but that's not love, that's obsession. Ryan nodded slowly. I suppose it is. He reached into his jacket. Tom pulled Claire behind him. Ryan lifted his hand, but only held out a small flash drive. Claire froze. This is everything, Ryan said quietly. Every file, every recording, every piece of evidence you collected, I kept it all. You were right about me. You were always right. He placed it on the table. Give it to the police, or don't, it's your choice now. Tom frowned. Why give it to her? Ryan looked at Claire, eyes hollow. Because if she uses it, I disappear for good. He turned toward the door. No rush. No fear. Just emptiness. Claire whispered, Ryan. He paused at the doorway. For the first time since appearing in their home, he sounded human. Take care of her, he said to Tom. She deserves a life without ghosts. And then he stepped outside. The door closed softly behind him. Claire collapsed against Tom, shaking violently. He held her close, whispering gently, It's over, it's over, it's over. But Claire knew something Tom didn't. It's not over yet, she whispered, staring at the flash drive. Not until I end it. Tom looked at her. What are you going to do? She wiped her tears. Finish the story. Epilogue 6 weeks later. The police investigation took time. Statements, evidence, interviews. And the flash drive, full of data Ryan had stolen, curated, preserved obsessively. It exposed everything. Corruption, threats, extortion. Everything Claire had been too afraid to reveal years before. Ryan disappeared. No one found him. No sightings. No messages. No shadows in the attic. Claire and Tom moved out of the house. Too many memories lived in its walls. Their marriage wasn't perfect. It was bruised, but not broken. One night, unpacking in their new home, Claire found her old notebook again. The one Ryan had written in. There was only one new sentence on the last page. 4 words. Not threatening. Not possessive. Not angry. Just hauntingly simple. I finally let go. Claire closed the notebook gently. Then she walked outside, stood under the open sky and breathed, truly breathed for the first time in years. The story was finished, and the past could no longer follow.